Yo, what up, my guys? It's the boy Richie. We're back with another 6v6 Pokemon battle for the channel against Chris off Discord. This guy was actually kind of a dick to me, but I wanted to go ahead and get this uploaded anyway. Sorry I haven't been uploading for like the past 2 weeks. I've been physically just so sick to where I couldn't even sit down and try to upload a 12-minute Pokemon battle, but I'm kind of in that recovering phase where, you know, I'm feeling a little bit better, good enough to upload, so I did want to go ahead and get this uploaded anyway. This battle happened like 3 days ago. Like, I have so many battles in my battle record that I am going to upload within the next few days, weeks, months. Like, I just got tons of Pokemon battles against just everybody, so I want to go ahead and get those uploaded. So if you guys are looking forward to that, go ahead and, you know, stay tuned, leave them likes, sub. Like, I don't typically do that at the start of the battle, but yeah, do that anyway. I'm not gonna hang on the team preview because I feel like I talked too much already, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right in it. So first thing I noticed on my opponent's team is that he has a Alolan Persian, and he also has a Silvally, which both pack Parting Shot. So I fully expected one of those Pokemon to lead easily because you can just Parting Shot and get whatever matchup you wanted. I sent out my Hitmonchan because I feel like my Hitmonchan isn't really worried about either one of these guys too much. And my opponent's just going to do exactly what I expected, and he's just going to go ahead and Parting Shot first turn. And I actually thought he would go ahead and, you know, Parting Shot into his Haunter, expecting me to go for like a fighting move, but he actually goes into his Hitmonchan. I just went for the Ice Punch right here, so I guess that's cool of him to, you know, send in his Hitmonchan. I definitely could have hit him with a fighting move, but I was trying to play smart. I just decided to stay in here and hit him with the Drain Punch, even though, you know, I got some, you know, some of my attack decreased, but I stayed in here anyway, and he hits me with the Fire Punch. I'm guessing he went for the Fire Punch, expecting either my Leafeon or my Haunter to come out. But I just stayed in there with my Hitmonchan, and, you know, my Hitmonchan did not eat that too well. But I could have stayed in and hit him with another Drain Punch, but I wanted to send in Leafeon because I don't want my Hitmonchan to even take any kind of Mach Punch or anything. Plus, it was kind of a bold move. I figured he wouldn't go for a Fire Punch again anyway. But I sent in my Leafeon, just went for a Leaf Blade, trying to clean that Hitmonchan up as my opponent swaps out into this Alolan Persian. So I thought that would do more damage to him. But I did kind of remember that this Pokemon does get that Fur Coat ability, which is a really cool ability that doubles your Pokemon's defense. So I just sent in my Miltank because I was like, my Miltank can most likely handle this Pokemon pretty well. Like, Miltank got that natural thickness. I'm not like the biggest defense. I don't have any defense investment on my Miltank, but I still felt like I'd be good enough to stay in here with that Alolan Persian, and he actually has a Regirock that just came out. I knew he was going to go ahead and get rocks up first turn instead of going for whatever fighting move he's going for, because I know he has one on him. Like, I figured it'd be like Superpower or something, Drain Punch, Power Up Punch. I've seen so many different sets on a Regirock, but I knew he'd just use that first turn to go ahead and get his rocks up. And I sent in my Hitmonchan, and first turn I know I could have went for the Rapid Spin or a fighting move, but I felt like those were too obvious, and he has a Haunter on his team that would just kind of block out both of those. So I did decide to go ahead and swap out of here, not wanting my Hitmonchan to take a Dazzling Gleam from this Haunter. I swapped right back out into my Miltank because I figured I'd be able to eat that pretty well. I don't know what item this Pokemon is running. I'm not one of those people who are able to just really like look at the damage and be like, oh, that's Choice Specs, oh, that's Choice Band, unless it's like completely obvious. But right there it wasn't so much. I just know he's not Eviolite, or else he would have taken the Ice Punch better. But he is just gonna go ahead and send his Regirock back out, and I just went ahead and decided to pull my Miltank back out, and it's time for Leafeon to come out in here and start doing his thing. Since his rocks were up, I figured he was also just going to go ahead and go for a fighting move, which is not going to do too much to my Leafeon at all. So now I'm kind of sitting in here pretty good. I know he has 30 ability anyway, so he's going to be able to live whatever I have to go for. And I mean, these Pokemon are super defensive anyway, so even if I got like a crit with a Leaf Blade, I'm pretty sure he'd still be living at like, you know, maybe in like the yellow HP or whatever. But my opponent actually just goes for the Toxic this first turn. I guess it being like his best play and him not being afraid of me using any of, you know, any Leaf Blades or anything. But I guess he kind of did get scared after that. And he's actually just going to go ahead and swap out into his Hitmonchan. I went for the Z ground move, the Tectonic Rage, that I just absolutely wanted to body that Regirock, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. And plus, I felt like it'd be a good play, even if he wanted to go for like, if he wanted to send back in the Alolan Persian like he did earlier in the battle. But my opponent makes, I guess, a good play going into his Hitmonchan again, just kind of sacking this Pokemon off. Because, I mean, he wasn't going to take any Leaf Blades or anything like that. But unfortunately for me, though, I don't have Synthesis. I don't have anything that will be able to recover any HP on my Leafeon back. So he is just going to go ahead and send in this Alolan Persian, and I was like, dang, I sword danced up. This Pokemon most likely has Foul Play on him, and it was kind of too late when I realized it. Like, the button was just already pressed, and he hit Foul Play on me, and because he's faster than me, he will be, you know, keeping his life right here. But I was like, it's whatever. My Leafeon's down. I still got Hitmonchan, who I gotta get... I gotta do some damage with my Hitmonchan right here. But my opponent actually makes kind of a scary move. He actually goes for the Dark Z move right here, which I thought he was definitely trying to put my Hitmonchan in a black hole, but I learned something new. He actually went for the Z Parting Shot right here, which I've never seen this done before, but he just pretty much, aside from the regular stuff that Parting Shot does, the Pokemon that you choose to swap in gets full HP recovered. So that's actually what my opponent did, and he sends back in his Haunter, who's just going to come back in here and just get all the HP back from that Ice Punch that I hit on him earlier. Except he's going to take some Stealth Rock damage, so that's pretty cool for me. I did try to just play it safe and go for the Drain Punch. I really couldn't afford to mess around with that Alolan Persian too much with my Hitmonchan. And unfortunately this turn, I knew he wasn't going to go for a Dazzling Gleam, because I could have just went right back out into my Milk Tank. So I stayed in hoping he would go for anything but Dazzling Gleam, and as you guys can see, he hits me with the Sludge Bomb, he gets the Toxic, and I hit him with the Ice Punch that gets the Freeze. So we're just over here exchanging hacks, and I just went for the Rapid Spin right here, thinking that my opponent would maybe, you know, swap out into a different Pokemon. And I felt like this wouldn't be the worst thing to happen with my Hitmonchan dropping right here while he's frozen anyway, because I can choose in my Hasselhoff, and I can get some Bulk Ups up, and then I can just kind of finish off the rest of this Pokemon battle. But my opponent actually does decide to just go ahead and swap out into his Regirock, which from the surface just looks like kind of a wild play, because you just swapped in a rock Pokemon on a water Pokemon. So I know this thing is super defensive. He doesn't have Sturdy anymore because my Stealth Rocks were able to take some of his HP off. So I am bulked up, and I was like, alright, it's time to drop this Regirock. Like, it's time to just drop you, homie. Like, you gotta go down now. I'm sorry. And I hit him with the Liquidation, and he still survives, which, like, this Pokemon is just way, way too defensive. It has to be a defensive Regirock, just off top. And he hits me with the Stone Edge, unfortunately. Luckily for me, I don't die, but, I mean, I just did not expect this Pokemon to live a Liquidation after I bulked up. I know Floatzel isn't just like the strongest hitting Pokemon, but I definitely thought he was still going to go down. So he's not going to be able to survive too. I am going to take some Life Orb damage, and this is kind of where it sucked, because it kind of came down to a speed tie, because both Alolan Persian and Floatzel both have the same base speed. So it came down to the speed tie, and I was able to win it right here and hit this Persian up with the Liquidation. And even though he has his Fur Coat ability, he is not going to be able to soak in that Liquidation from my Floatzel. So at this point, he's going to go ahead and send in his Silvally. And I was kind of happy. I figured this Pokemon was like water, so, you know, going for like an Ice Punch or a Liquidation wouldn't really do too much damage to him. So I just went ahead and went for the Low Kick just to get as much damage as I possibly could. And he makes the play of just going for the Defog right here, getting rid of the rocks. I guess he still knows he has that Flareon in the back of his team that could still kind of be a problem to me if my Floatzel doesn't stick around. So he did just go ahead and get rid of my rocks. He sends back in the Haunter, who's not going to be affected by this Low Kick at all. I only have one more attack in me because I do have the Life Orb on me, so I am just going to go ahead and swap out my Floatzel and save him for the Flareon. And I'm just going to go ahead and send back in my Milk Tank, because while this Pokemon is frozen, even if he wasn't frozen, there'd just honestly be nothing that he could really do to me. So at this point, I was like, I could get my rocks up, or I could just start bodying. I was like, it's kind of late in the game. I was like, I'm just gonna go for blood right now. I was like, it's time to just get some attacks off. I felt pretty confident at this point in the battle that I had it, so I was like, I'm gonna just go for the Zen Headbutt, try to knock that Haunter out. But my opponent swaps out into the Silvally. He was probably expecting me to put more rocks back up, but it's not the case, and I was like, all right, time to hit him with the body slam and finish him. But he just survives. He lives again, and I'm like, all right, this has to be a defensive Savali. Like my opponent's just like running defensive pokes like left and right on me, and he just parting shots out of here. And I was like, yo, this kind of put me at a bad position, because I was like, if this thing flame charges on me like twice, like he'll be faster than me. Then he'll most likely, you know, try to flame charge. I mean, flare blitz and superpower in my lineup. Like I know how these Pokemon are ran. They typically got the superpower and the flame charge and the toxic orb and like all that and facade, and then they just start wrecking through your lineup and all that, and like there's like nothing you can do once you get to that point. But I was kind of just gonna stay in here. I felt like my best play would be to try to stay in here and spam body slam to, you know, get the paralysis on my opponent. And as you guys can see, after my second body slam, I was able to go ahead and get the paralysis on him. And if you guys didn't notice, after that first flare blitz, after the first flame charge from my opponent, my guy was still faster. That's because I am running a Jolly milk tank. I like my milk tank being fast. The thought of that cow being faster than stuff is just hilarious to me. But he did knock me out with the superpower. And I was like, alright, I got Float to Zell. But then I realized this Pokemon has Quick Attack, and I don't have Aqua Jet. So it's not the end of the world, because I still have Haunter, and I can just kind of Shadow Ball the rest of my opponent's lineup away. So, yeah, I just went for the Shadow Ball right here, and I was like, I'm most likely going to be able to kill his Haunter and his Silvally with Shadow Ball. But, yeah, anyway, at this point in the battle, honestly, my opponent was being just such a dick to me. Like, he was in his feelings. He was so butthurt. He forfeited the battle at this point. But I mean, I pretty much had it. He was really upset about like the hacks in the game. But I mean, everybody gets hacks. Like maybe, I don't know. He was just like complaining up a storm. I won't hang on it too long. But I mean, I probably won't battle him again. I did want to get this up because, you know, I was being just a little bit petty because he wanted to cry to me like that. So I just decided to upload it. But yeah, new battle up. Gonna have some more in the future. If you guys enjoyed the battle, go ahead and drop that like. If you're not subbed and you are looking forward to some more Pokemon battles from me, go ahead and sub. If you want to go ahead and set up a Pokemon battle with me, just go ahead and hit me up, and yeah, we'll set that up. Follow my social media, all that, yada yada. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.